Links to a channel here over at SubScribestar. So Gal Gadot versus Snow White. Another Disney woke bomb on the way. And here's the thing why I might start switching the channel over to politics is because pop culture is only fun when there's good and bad shows to cover. It's the intermittent chicken experiment. There has to be some good movies. And every once in a while it comes out with Deadpool and Wolverine. And the thing is that just wasn't that good a movie. It's just, and it was, I mean, doesn't deserve to be called good at all. It's just that compared to everything else, it's like, oh, this is better than everything else. Yeah, movies are supposed to be better than just being good enough. They're supposed to actually be worth the money. Video games, I'll admit, are still a mixed bag, but it seems like everything out of Hollywood is the same. It's just kind of different varieties of woke cancer. And if you play video games, don't accept the slowly boiling frog of wokeness into your games. Oh, it's just a little bit of wokeness here and there. No, that's how they get you. It's like just put your foot down and just don't. I know there's FOMA is fear of missing out for a lot of people, and that's what gets people into games. And games are addictive in a way that movies are not. But if you don't support it, they will change. And if they don't change, it's like, well, you're not missing out on anything. At least you're not supporting it. So there doesn't seem to be anyone offering a counter narrative from Hollywood. All the IPs that you know, that you grew up with, and you enjoy. God, he looks like something belongs under a bridge. Have been bought by these globalist lizard people and been absolutely ruined. They have Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, among others. Think how crazy that is. Two absolute classic great stories, and they're owned by the worst people on earth, Disney and Amazon. Absolute parasites. So they can use it to push their woke propaganda of the day. What was that? Peter Pan. They did the Peter Pan movie, and that's some of these movies should go down in history when you look at what happened 50 years from now and the collapse of Hollywood, and they'll show race swap Peter Pan where the Lost Boys are really black girls who I guess were stupid enough to fall out of their prams. There needs to be a counter Hollywood. Unfortunately, the buy-in point is pretty high, so I don't see it happening. Which is okay. Then just let mainstream Hollywood die, and something in the alternative will come up. Now with AI and CGI, you might be able to start making movies for a whole lot less money. They absolutely ruined Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. And with Star Wars, they had like 8 streaming shows on Disney Plus, or about that, and I think 7 out of 8 of them bombed. The Mando was probably their most well-received show. And then they have everything else was skinny black girl, lesbian, women don't need men. You look at it and go, this doesn't look anything like 77 Stars. Well, we're updating it for a modern audience. I don't believe you. I think a modern audience would rather watch the 77 to 83 Star Wars. Anyway, they have a big screen Daisy Ridley movie on the way, which I hope they spend a lot of money on that. That's going to be fantastic. It's almost certainly going to lose money. But watching Hollywood lose money is more interesting than watching their stupid movies. And of course, arguing with blue-haired, dilating, angry soy boys on Twitter about it, where they're in the position to defend billion-dollar corporate parasites because they know that Hollywood is pushing the same narrative that they're on board with because they've been brainwashed by Hollywood their whole lives, which puts these corporate left-wing kids in sort of a weird position where older leftists would recognize these brainwashed Coomer globalists as the useful idiots that they are. And they'd look at the modern left wing and like, wait, you're on the side of Bank of America and all these other corporations because they're debanking right-wing people, or billion-dollar social media platforms because they're banning Nick Fuentes types, and the left wing is, or even worse, all of Hollywood because it's all left wing now. So the left wing is forced to it's the was it Occupy Hollywood, and then Occupy Hollywood, they should Occupy Wall Street, and then a few years later it's Bank of America supporting some gay pride parade. You go, that's kind of the definition of subversion and corruption. No, the banks are on our side now. Yeah, we're aware. Anyway, so they call us Nazis online for laughing at woke Hollywood, and I just say yes. And now what? I mean, where do you go from there? That doesn't make the movies sell. You can get online and call people all sorts of names, but that doesn't get butts in the theater. You know that, right? You're not helping the mainstream, and I'm glad because the people who are defending it are these just soy bitches, and it's more enjoyable to troll them for 90 minutes than go watch the latest movie. And if you have to watch it, ultimately that's what a VPN is for. So the left wing are the idiots, and they always say it's morally just to steal from corporations for like shoplifting and looting from Target and Walgreens, that kind of stuff. And then they get defensive when I get in the comment section, and I agree, and I say, oh yeah, absolutely, pirate everything from Hollywood, never support those globalist vermin parasites. Try to drop a lot of dog whistles. It kind of confuses them. And they suddenly get the little truth like, well, if you don't support Hollywood, you won't get more of these woke globalist propaganda movies. Like, yeah, that's the point. That's where you're supposed to pirate it. If you steal and loot from stores, you have retail deserts. No. The stores are closing for other reasons. I mean, you've got to be brain damaged to believe that. What happened in the Bay Area? Was it Walgreens or Walmart or something? Like a dozen of those stores closed because looting was going unpunished. So anyway, we have Snow Palestine versus Baby Killer Gadot coming up, and it's probably going to be the perfect storm of bad movie because the left wing hates Gal Gadot because she was deleting babies in the IDF, which, to be fair, she probably was. Who was that H3, that guy's wife? Hilla Klein or something. The thing is, they really don't care. They've got like T-shirts that celebrate one shot, 2 kills or something like this, and for pregnant women. And this conflict has kind of taken the mask off of Hollywood for a lot of people who apparently were unaware of who was pulling the strings on that industry. Though I don't know how you could be unaware. Because you got a lot of openly Zionist supporters, and then you have a lot of people who are remaining silent, and other people in the industry. Every once in a while, I think it was Matthew Broderick. You'll have a naive actor who's been in Hollywood for like 40 years, and they'll say something about what monsters the Israelis are, the poor Palestinian children, or something like this. Reasonable statements, and his management will call him up for a lunch date. Go to his house and just slap him around until he apologizes. So I didn't watch the Oscars, but I'm going to assume that topic of that conflict over there was a little bit subdued, or if anything, one-sided, which you think is kind of weird because the younger audience who's really into Hollywood is obviously pro-Palestine, but Hollywood itself is Israel, so there's kind of a conflict there where each side assumes that their viewpoint is the only viewpoint, and everyone would logically support their viewpoint. You go, reasonable people can disagree without becoming disagreeable, and that is not something that they believe in. But the thing with the Coomers, who need their streaming shows and popcorn, is you'll take their Sex in the City, or whatever it is people are watching these days, from their cold dead hands, because this stuff is addicting for them. Whenever they talk about shows, I get in the Twitter section, and I go, oh yeah, you guys should totally just boycott this show. And it's like the needle scratch on the record when they realize that you told them not to watch TV. That's how addicted they are. They can't just, oh yeah, totally unsubscribe from Disney Plus or Amazon Video Prime or Netflix or Warner Brothers or the rest. Like, you don't need HBO. And they look at you like, oh, whoa, let's not go that far. We still need our shows. Anyway, I remember when Wonder Woman, the first one, came out, I think in 2016. And what a mid movie that was. The left wing kids were bitching about Gal Gadot. But now things have stepped up a notch, and obviously I don't care about either side because they both hate us. So, I just hope they have a good time playing war games. I mean, they've been at it for a while now. You'd think you would have wrapped this thing up. It's almost as if they're trying to get the body count as high as possible. Though I'm not sure Trump supporters elected him to rebuild Palestine. I think people were a little surprised when he gave some press conference talking about his plans, and people are looking at that like, yeah, we don't want to go to the Middle East, at all under any circumstances, you can just let them handle it, and or get involved in Iran or Ukraine for that matter. And he's slowly kind of moving people in that direction. They're still waiting on the Epstein files. Plot twist: you're never going to see an unredacted version. And they're waiting on the mass deportations, which are not happening. And they're not going to happen. I think he was doing like 700 a day when he would have needed to do 20 to 30,000 a day. So those are known as lies, campaign lies. And don't get mad at me and down thumb the video and unsubscribe. He said on day one that he would release those files. Now, Pan Bondi says, well, we're going to have to censor them because of national security issues, which means that Israel and Mossad have been blackmailing or bribing politicians, so enjoy the rug pull. And, he said it on day one. Him and Pan Bondi and Kash Patel. You got to hold politicians to their words, even if you're on one side or the other, because otherwise they just won't do anything. Like nobody made him say these stupid campaign promises, but you have to hold him to it. And you think like the Hillary, like going after Hillary, think how much better the situation would have been if he actually went after his political opponents. And like if he doesn't go after him this time, man, what do you think's going to happen when the opposition gets in power? And like ultimately, when both sides become this partisan, the stability of the country gets less and less. And I mean, I think you know where that's going. Countries like people, like, oh, you're so edgy, and with this kind of posting, like historically, countries just don't last forever. They, it's you've had a run of over 200 years. There's going to be a shakeup. That's how it's always happened. Anyway, now you have Snow White, and the kids are going to skip it because gal baby killer Gadot, and the right wing is and the right wing gets upset when I say that. The right wing is going to skip it because it's obviously woke cancer, and Hollywood has not stopped woke. That seems to be a misunderstanding. People are getting way ahead of what they think Hollywood is going to do. I don't expect them to stop. They would rather go bankrupt. You could possibly see Disney go out of business, and you're looking at it, it's like someone who's addicted to drugs. Like all you have to do is stop, go in the other direction, and for them, that's just not going to happen. And Rachel Zegler proves that she's an idiot every time she opens her mouth and gives an interview. She costs the movie money, and I don't know how much they spent. I think it had reshoots, right? And it's a heavy CGI, so you're talking over $200 million here. So what's the point of seeing Snow White if it bears no relation? Is it Grimm's fairy tale, or I think it was Grimm's? What horrific fairy tales those were. The Seven Dwarves and the Prince, and I just reread it the other day and I already forgot it. A Jealous Evil Queen, and obviously it's literally called Snow White. And the thing is confusing. He has another story called Snow White and Snow Red, or Ruby Rose, or Red Rose, or something. Don't get lost in the dark forest, otherwise a witch will put you in the oven and eat you. The thing is, the main stars are not European. She's supposed to be fair and beautiful, Snow White. And that's, part of the humiliation ritual of a conquered cattle debt slaves. Instead, you have actors who are just not special. They look like, most of the rest of the world. Dark hair, dark eyes, and they all look, I'll say, very similar, no offense. It's kind of what makes European people so angelic, special. I mean, dare I say godlike. It's that we're rare and beautiful. They're, I always talk about diversity, and you look at European hair, skin, and eye color. It's like, oh, you mean the European people, because there's like nobody more beautiful and diverse. That's kind of one of the definitions of being special is, rarity. And Zegler and Gadot are common. Should I say common as dirt? That might be a bridge too far. So this is another movie that's going to struggle to break even. You've got Captain America with Anthony Mackie, where's the Falcon, combined into one character, but race swapped. And then you had Madam Web, which is 3 girls run around and nobody watched it. I didn't even watch it. And then you had The Marvels, which was 3 girls run around I think there was POCs in those movies, and how do I say, people are not on board watching POCs anymore. They really want a return to kind of an 80s Swedish bikini team vibe. And they also had a bunch of family animations, like Peter Pan, with the Lost Boys, who were black girls, though even though in the story, that plot point was in the story where he asks, so why are there no lost girls? And the guy goes, oh, because they're too smart to fall out of their prams. Looks at the black lost girls and go, I get it now. Anyway, Disney used to make hugely successful movies. There was a time when they were just printing money in the 80s and 90s. Those days are long gone. So now we're looking forward to movies so bad they're good, which this one looks like it might actually cross that threshold. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all next episode.